Andrew the other day about this kid that, about this kid that walked in my office at North Campus when I was Associate Dean of Communications, and he walked in. No, I'm sorry, I think I was the academic dean, I forget. Anyway, yeah, too many jobs, I couldn't hold it. It's all blurred. But it was at North Campus, and this kid walks in my office to deliver some papers from the lab. And normally, I guess my secretary was out, so he came right in my office. And normally, something like that, you just say thank you. But that day, I don't know why, I asked him, do you work in the lab? And he said yes. And he tutored in the lab, and he was tutoring physics. So I said, are you going to school? And he said, no, I have my AA, I finished. And I said, so what do you want to do? He goes, well, I want to be an engineer. And he said, but I'm saving money. I'm trying to save money to go to Embry-Riddle. And I said, and what do you do to save money? And he said, I work in the lab. And I knew he was making, what, $6 an hour back then? And I said, well, you're never going to make it. I think that tuition back in those days, even at Embry-Riddle, was $30,000 a year. So I said to him, listen, you're not going to make it. Let me, give me your phone number where I can reach you, and I'll get back to you. And it just turned out, it just happened that we had worked on an articulation agreement with Georgia Tech that we still have at the college, where they accept 7, I think, or 8 students that want to major in engineering, and with a full ride. And you have to have very high grades and recommended by the college and your professors. So I picked up the phone and I called Georgia Tech, the admissions officer that we worked with, and she said, and I said, do you have any more spaces? She said, well, we're all full except one student just backed out. He's going to go to Cornell. So, guess what? This kid got in. He went to Georgia Tech. Today he is a very, very successful electrical engineer. He has a master's degree. And those are the stories. Those are the stories. Those people here that are not from the college. That's why we all work here. Because this is multiplied by 10,000. All of you have these stories, and that's why on the worst days, you think of that one kid, like the student that Jose brought today to the board meeting is a similar case, and that's why it all made sense. That's why we stayed all these years, and why we worked so hard, and why we followed Dr. Padron's lead. He's certainly a workaholic, and if he works harder than any of us, it's an embarrassment, so we try to work harder than he can. But we can't, nobody ever can. So it's been a wonderful, wonderful ride. Rolando and I go way back. I want you to know that his children were perfect. Right? You can only imagine that he would have perfect children. And when we went to those parties, they were dressed perfectly and never got dirty, and they were just perfect. And then I had Andrew in the mix, and he was, like Rolando described, going under the tables and taking croquetas, and his shirt would be hanging out. But it was absolutely amazing. Those days were amazing. I want to introduce the members of my family who are here, and I also want to thank them. But let me introduce my husband, George. Let me say a couple of things about George. Some of you know him. When he asked me to marry him, I said, please, you need to lower your expectations. I have this commitment to the place where I work, so you really need to think about that, and you need to lower your expectations, because I don't like go to Publix and stuff. So he said, I understand, it is okay. And you know what? He meant it. Because we've been married 30 years, and he meant it. He really did. And you've met my son, Andrew, who ate many Kentucky Fried Chicken dinners. But I did go to every single one of his tennis matches. He was a wonderful, and continues to be a wonderful tennis player. He played USTA Juniors, and he played in Germany. He was a great tennis player, and Andrew is just phenomenal, and you heard from him. I'm very proud of him. His girlfriend, Carolina, sitting next to him. Carolina, is that Carolina is a wonderful member of our family. My sister Betty, my younger sister Betty, my talented younger sister Betty. Then I'll introduce Jesse, my nephew, the engineer, and his girlfriend Laura, sitting at the table. My husband's cousin and my cousin, Joe Suarez. There are a lot of Suarez. Javier had just left. He had another engagement. And my wonderful stepson, Carlos Suarez, his beautiful wife, Jessica, and granddaughter, Alyssa. Stand up, Alyssa. So I want to thank my family for being here, but I always also want to thank them for putting up with me and for the years that really I've been so busy, especially in the last 20 years. Where when I work 12-hour days almost all the time. So I want to thank you for putting up with that. What else can I say? The 30 years went fast. Those of you that are getting close to retirement, and I know some of you are, will understand what I mean, that one day it just happens. I was actually okay with it until 3 days ago, and I started realizing that, I was gonna say goodbye to all of this. The last 6 years at this campus of the 30 have been absolutely wonderful. This is a very wonderful campus. I knew the campus, but I didn't really know the campus until I became its campus president. And I want to thank all of the people that work here that make every day a joy to come to this campus. And so many of you are here. You made my life just great. You work so hard, and there are so many good things that happen here. So many grants that are written and get funded. So many incredible programs that take place here because of the hard work of the people here. Mo, thank you for your words. It's been an honor to serve on the Children's Trust Board with you, for you, and also as a colleague on the coalition. It was enjoyable, it was hard, but I loved it, and my passion, of course, remains in that place. So thank you for being here and for speaking. Nora and Joyce are here, and where are you? Where are you? There. Oh, and where's Nora? I'm so glad you came, and Joyce, that you came out of retirement. We were academic deans together. We were magnificent. I'm going to be arrogant. We were absolutely magnificent. Dr. Padron had the vision of appointing, how many of us? 6 women as academic deans. That was unheard of in the history of the college. And we were incredible. We worked well together. We fought. We don't always agree, but we were a team. And I want to thank you for being here. I will always remember those years, and the time especially that we were stuck at Wolfson campus in Building 5 at midnight or 1 in the morning because we had been working on a project, and then realized that our cars were all in the garage and it had been locked. And Alexandria got panicky. Dr. Holloway's not here, she's traveling, but we were amazing, and I want to just acknowledge that.